Before I begin, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone on the committee. As the son of a veteran, I know all the important work that you guys do here. I just want to say that I am here on behalf of the Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire, an organization based in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Dear Chairman Moffitt and the honorable members of the State Federal Relations and Veterans Affairs Committee, we are writing this letter in support of CACR 13, 2024, an amendment to the New Hampshire Constitution prohibiting slavery and involuntary servitude in the state of New Hampshire. As an organization devoted to disseminating and sharing information about New Hampshire's Black history, we often are in a position of having to tell our visitors and program participants that slavery has never been formally abolished by the state of New Hampshire. Enslavement is only prohibited here because of the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, ratified in 1865. The right to be free of the threat of enslavement or involuntary servitude is a cherished and essential right that should be guaranteed by the New Hampshire Constitution. The horrors of enslavement in our past alone should be sufficient to compel the passage of this measure. What makes its passage essential at this time is that enslavement and involuntary servitude persist even today. If enshrined in our Constitution, it would be possible for anyone aware of violations of this amendment to bring legal action against these practices. In addition, in our role as teachers of true and holistic history, we at the Black Heritage Trail would be, with the passage of this amendment, able to inform our audiences that New Hampshire has taken a stand and its people are now protected from the evils of this despicable practices. Sincerely, Jerry Ann Bogus, Executive Director. And on a personal note, I just want to say to the committee, as a young individual who has moved here about 5-6 years ago now, I was confronted with history that I had never heard before. I grew up in the South, so a lot of the education that I learned was framed in the eyes of Republican and conservative thought. I was taught that the Civil War was about states' rights and not about slavery. I was taught that these states were the heroes in the story and not the villains. It wasn't until I came here to New Hampshire and I was confronted with the fact that an enslaved man, Prince Whipple, wrote a petition for freedom so early in the founding of our country that it was impossible to ignore. It absolutely reframed my mind on the history of our country. I implore you, with the passage of this amendment to our Constitution, it sends a signal not just to everyone in the state, but to the rest of the country and the world, that we are doing what we can to get rid of the practices and the horrors of our past and move forward so that future generations can never live under threat again. Thank you for your time.